everybody, welcome to another On the Painting Table with Ash. This is my weekly show where I basically show you guys what I'm working on, what the current paint projects are, what I've finished in the previous week. You guys get to have a little sort of sneak peek into the things I'm working on. So, it's been a pretty busy week. I've been trying to get more stuff done for a game on Sunday and a game on Friday. I actually have somebody challenging me tomorrow to some more time, and this is not a test. So I figured if I'm going to do a mid-season break for This Is Not a Test, between Jason and I getting our new warbands ready for the new season, I would unpack some old Fallout models and touch them up and do some rebasing and stuff. So I do have a Preserver warband you're going to get to check out. They're all finished and ready for Friday for a little 2-game series of This Is Not a Test that will air in November. Because Frostgrave is going to be taking up all of October for the other basement stuff. And then you'll also see other projects. The current state of my self-imposed, I think I can get all this stuff done for September Ariadna project. And I've also laid it out like in the order that I'm going to try and get it finished in, of like how likely I am to use it. And then for Sunday, I'm playing some more Frostgrave with my old buddy Jay. And we will be using an alternate warband. So the Frostgrave games, I'm going to do just like I do for Mordheim. I'm going to run two warbands at the same time. And that means when people come in with new warbands, because it's an open campaign, I should have something close to their power scale to play with. I've also just finished writing up some balancing rules for levels in Frostgrave. So if you're 10 levels higher, then you get to roll on a chart and get some inducements, or like in Blood Bowl, you get extra stuff for taking on somebody who's more powerful or more experienced. So without further ado, let's take a look at what I've been working on. All right, so here's the worked on stuff to get to and stuff I'd like to get to pile. Let's start with the finished stuff first. I was talking about that This Is Not a Test warband. This is my Preserver warband. This is all the stuff I've painted for my Preservers. Now, the front 4 guys, so my Lord Reclaimer, my single Reclaimer here in Power Armor, and then these 2 Squires, who will be the Paladin Squires, so the guy with the sniper rifle and the guy with the regular rifle. That's all I get when I start. I get like nothing to start off with because I have 2 suits of Power Armor in the warband. So we'll see how that does. I don't know if it's going to be great or not, but that's what I'm starting off with. And then back here I've got my Savant, which is a Scribe. I have another Reclaimer who's upgunned with a minigun, so maybe if this guy learns some skills, he'll swap over to being that model, and I can get another Reclaimer later. Or Preserver later? Preserver, Reclaimer? I can't remember. I think it's Reclaimer. And then I've got 4 more just regular Preserver / Reclaimers. I can't remember which one they're called. Yeah, the dudes with just assault rifles, pistols, and whatever. The army guys, the army-looking guys, are Black Scorpion USMC models, and there's some great figs from Black Scorpion if you want to check them out. The rest of it is Brother Vinny Fallout miniatures, so I painted these ages ago. There's some head swaps and conversions and bits and pieces in here too. So like this minigun is an old Warzone Imperial minigun that I just modified the guy to fit with. And even use the backpack on. He's pretty much stocked. I got the laser rifle there, but my Lord Reclaimer has a hand again from Warzone, I think, and then the head is an alternate head of a Hans mini from Eden. So some Eden minis getting used in there too. So there is my Preserver, I can't remember. Reclaimers, I think, are from a different game called Wreckage. I think these guys are Preservers. I can't remember what Jerry called them. It's one of the 2. The dudes who save technology and basically are the Brotherhood of Steel. So you'll see that short little 2-game miniseries in November, but I'll be filming it tomorrow. And yeah, there's a sneak peek into the warband I'll be using. Well, at least the starting warband. I doubt I'll get all these guys in 2 games, but I have some backups to hire if somebody dies, something goes terribly wrong. Other things I finished, here's my alternate wizard. So this is my enchanter with his snowy owl and his apprentice there. And his 3 levels of construct. So these are the actual Frostgrave constructs. They're pretty awesome. I actually really like them. The little one is just like a straw doll. So he's literally like a stitched together like little straw doll with a spear, with a pokey spear. So if you get bad summons, you summon that guy. The medium summons is the medium carved out of wood sort of golem-y guy. And then the large one, that's the large version. So it sort of levels up, and they're more powerful the bigger they get. The medium construct is just basically a basic human. The large construct's kind of a tank. And he's got his little snowy owl, which I'm going to count as a bow. So he actually can sick the owl on you to go fight you, and I'll have him be armed with a bow and just, I think, a dagger probably, because he doesn't seem to have a sword on him anymore. So he's going to be kind of weak in combat. We have a shooting attack, which I think is kind of cool, because obviously he's there to stand back. His apprentice, though, has got a sword, so she's actually got a hand weapon, which is pretty hands-on for an enchanter, which I thought was pretty cool. Now, the other Frostgrave stuff I'm working on, I have 2 more scenario pieces here to do. I have the giant worm and the genie in a bottle genie, and then I've got these 3 wraiths. And that's going to allow me to do 3 more scenarios, because that's all scenario stuff. I actually make some more terrain for the wraiths. I need 6 3-inch ruins. I'm struggling with what I'm going to use. I'd love to get the old, what is it, Lord of the Rings ruins, the stuff that came in the first star set. They're like little corner pieces. If I get a couple of those, if I get 6 of those, I'd be just done. That'd be perfect. I could just mount them on 3-inch squares and have the searchable little huts, but I haven't really gotten the huts done yet. But the wraiths have to be done anyway. The wraiths are old, weird miniature woes from the Pandora box set. They just made perfect wraiths. So they're not prime, it's a little hard to look at, but you can see they're just like smoky body. This is a razor worm from Scorn for my underground worm. It actually used to clean the sewers. And then the big fiery genie is a Djinn from Eldorado. So it's a big fiery Djinn. You'll see when it's painted. They're just based on some epoxy sculpt right now to give them some sort of up high basing. I'll put some sand on there and get them primed later. And then how is the Ariadne? Oh, sorry, actually I should talk about this in the back. This Deus Vult box. This is actually, if you look in the rule book for the Frostgrave stuff, this is where a lot of the miniatures came from. So a lot of the knights and stuff, this is a lot like the Frostgrave soldier box in that you get bodies. I think actually the same people made it. You get bodies, you get heads, you get weapons like times a bajillion, and the Teutonic infantry come with like crossbows, axes, spears, so you can make everything for Frostgrave pretty much except for archers out of this box, like really easy. You can even make rangers and stuff too. And they have a variety of bodies and heads, which I thought were super awesome. So I actually wanted to make this guy an all-new warband, like not a band of adventurers, but a more sort of like militant, because he looks a little fancier than Hrothgar does. So I thought he would actually have like household troops, like he's from like some kind of arcane university, and his job was to go loot and have actually some money, and that's why he's building constructs and things. So eventually I'm going to make him his own soldiers out of this box, but I just don't have the time right now. I'm working on so many projects at once. But I did pick the box up and I figured I'd show it to you guys, because that's the long game there for those guys. They have their own soldiers. So yeah, there's the Ariadne stuff. So here's the 3 models that are just base coated and ready to basically put highlights on. So my 112, my Tank Hunter autocannon, and my Isabel. And this is all, like, again, in order of how likely I am to use it in a game. So that stuff needs to get done. Because I need more specialists, and I just played Lifeblood recently with Owen. You'll see that game probably pretty soon, and I realized how little I had to blow up supply boxes. So I think one of my Spetsnaz HMGs is getting traded in for him at some point. Then I've got Dog Force 1 here, so Duroc and Margot, Vincent, and the Kazakh Doctor for more specialists. They're probably, again, more likely to get used than the stuff you see in back. And then I've got my Maverick FO. She's pretty awesome. My, what is he called? A hard case with attack bow. And my, not a Marauder, he's the Minuteman with double light flamethrower. Now, those are again, a lot of US Ariadne stuff. I'm likely to try it in my Ariadne list, but not as likely as I am to use what I've already painted, which is like the Grunts, the Foxtrot, like the cheapo extra hitters, and what is it? The Heavy Flamer Marauder, who's just amazing because he's got forward deployment. And then back here we have the guys I'm actually really unlikely to use. Like the Grunts are AVA 2, so I haven't painted my 3rd Grunt yet because like it was just another thing to paint right away, and I can't use him in my vanilla list. And I like him, like, theoretically on paper. I like him a lot in US Ariadne, where I can take 3 of them, but there's no reason for me to take a double dog team over dog faces in standard Ariadne. So he's kind of back of the boat right now for getting painted, as far as getting used in a game. So I've got 3, 7, 11, 14 miniatures left to paint. I didn't get very far in them this week because I had to get this stuff done for actual gaming, like actually like playing games this week, which took precedence, but I did paint, I don't know, a bunch of miniatures this week into something much more. So yeah, that's where I'm 2 weeks left in the month. Like I'm filming this on Thursday the 15th, 16th, and it goes to 30th. So I got 2 weeks left. We'll see how I do. 2 weeks, that's like a model a day. If I painted a model a day, I'd be fine, right? That's all I have to do. That'll be fine. But then we lead to over here. I got some more Age of Sigmar stuff I gotta get done. People have been complaining about my battle reports that I just keep using the starter set stuff, and I have added to it. Like I've added more Liberators. But I did want to paint this guy because he's just huge and cool and floaty. Although I'm not excited about his wings, which will probably break. And then my Judicators, which I definitely need more range stuff in my army. And I have 2 more Ogres for that unit of Iron Guts that I want to finish as well as an Empire Battle Wizard. So that's going to kind of take the army to a place where I'm pretty happy with it. And I just need to get the time to actually paint it. So there it is. There's it on the painting table for this week. The 16th? No, it's going to be, this will be airing on the... Oh geez, 19, 20, 21, 22nd. So the 22nd of September you'll see this. I'll film it on the 16th, so hopefully I'll have more stuff done by then. So yeah, I got some stuff plugged away at and lots more to do. All right, so there you go, my on the painting table for this week. You got to see some, this is not a test stuff, some Fallout minis, some Frostgrave stuff that got finished so I can do my alternate warbands. You heard some plans. I got some more Fallout stuff on the books that's going to be coming in the future. I got that Deus Vult stuff I want to paint for my alternate warband, so I got different soldiers. I've got a bunch of scenario stuff to finish for Frostgrave. I gotta say, I'm going to be really proud, I think, of the Frostgrave videos when they start coming out in October, because I did a lot of work on it, and the people that came and filmed with me did a lot of work too, and it's going to look really, really cool. So there's always some Frostgrave videos I've seen go out on the net, and they're super exciting. I don't know. I think this one's going to be as good as the Fallout videos were, and hopefully people will be excited about it too, because I've worked pretty hard on it. And then you saw how I'm progressing on my Ariadna challenge. I really am, I'm not trying to like pad not getting done, but I really am just focusing on the miniatures I'm likely to use in games. And because the US Ariadna stuff right now, even if I bought 2 starter sets, it wouldn't really be playable. I don't think it would be a good reflection of how the army is going to play in the future. And I don't want to play with proxies and unpainted stuff. Like, that's just, ugh. You guys don't watch my videos for that reason. So yeah, you probably won't see me play a US Ariadna army like game for a while, because I don't think it's representative of how the army is going to play in the future, and I wouldn't want to play some games and put out a false impression of what the army is going to play like. I have a list in mind, but just getting what's going to be required for that list will require some time and some stuff coming out. So it will be done in the future, but right now you'll see the US Ariadna show up in the stock Ariadna, which is why the painting preference I have right now. Like the next 3 miniatures in the queue, you can see they're not US. One's a Tank Hunter, one's Isabel, and one's a 112. Like, I guess the 112 can be used in US Ariadna, but it's not the same stuff. And then I've got Duroc and Margot Van Zant, because he might be useful. And Kazakh Doc, and then I think that's after that line of 7 miniatures, I actually start dipping into the US Ariadna stuff again. Because it might get used and might not. Although, like, Hardcase, Foxtrot, I'm more likely to paint my other Foxtrots than I am to paint the Hardcase. He's cool, but he's not necessarily as cool as a Foxtrot is, or as cheap. And then I already explained it with the Devil Dogs and that 3rd Grunt. I can't use a 3rd Grunt right now anyway, because it's just stock Ariadna, and the Devil Dog, like I said, he's cool, but he's not dog face cool. He's not double chain rifle cool. So yeah, so there it is. There's what's on the painting table for right now. The Age of Sigmar stuff I'm super excited about too. I do want to get more of it done, because I want my Age of Sigmar army to be a little more diverse, and I really want to try out Lord Celestin and just have him come down and drop the hammer on people, because I think that's pretty exciting. Because he actually carries Galmaraz, which is pretty cool. So we'll see you for more of this next week. You'll see how far I get on the projects I have going. If I'm going to guess what you're going to see next week, I'll probably get the scenario stuff finished for Frostgrave, just so we can have it done. And then try and crank out the rest of that Ariadna, the stuff that's base coded for Ariadna. So if I can get those 8 miniatures finished next week, by next week, I'll be pretty happy. And I'm gonna try and get that Age of Sigmar stuff at least assembled. So again, hopefully next week I've got some of that promise coming true. If I don't, then, you know, make fun of me on this video. We'll see you for more of this. Until then, I'm Ash. Happy wargaming.